If you have a folder in your documents that has many Excel spreadsheets and you want to create a master file from which you can preview each and every spreadsheet, I'm going to be showing you how to do that in today's video here. Here I have an Excel file where I'm collecting customer survey information. And as you can see, this survey is for Dubai over here. And in my folder here, I've collected survey for a whole bunch of locations. I have Tokyo, Japan, to New York, to Berlin, Germany. And what I'd like to do is to create a master file where I can preview all of this data at once in that master file. So as you can see, we've opened the Dubai file and we can preview it right over here. This is how it looks like. Now in my master file, what I've done is I can search up any file name within that folder and I'll get the extracted data, the table from there. And so for example, for my Dubai spreadsheet, if I close it over here, and if I go ahead and copy the spreadsheet name, so I'm just going to click on F2, Control AC to copy. And if I go ahead and paste it over here, and then I can refresh my data, as you can see, the data refreshes and I'm able to see the survey data for the Dubai location. And I want to be able to preview the location data for all of these locations within my folder. So I'll be showing you how to create a function that allows you to do such a thing. So here in my master file, as you can see, I have a file location and file name. So my file location for all of these files is the same. It's in my documents and it's a folder called survey results. And in this folder, I have a whole bunch of Excel files, right? And so what I've done is I've copied the folder address. So I just right click the folder bar, copy address, and I've pasted it right over here. Okay. And when I pasted it, I added a backslash at the end as well. Okay. And after that, let me show you the subsequent steps in order to be able to refresh and load data in this manner. So now what I've done is I have copied a random Excel file name within that folder. So in this case, I've copied the Dubai name, but I can copy any name. So for example, in my folder, I have a whole bunch of Excel files. You just saw the Dubai one. Let's go ahead and let's see the Brazil one here. So here's the Brazil one. As you can see, it's the same column headers, the same data, but of course, different results. So what I'd like to do is let's go ahead and let's copy this Brazil Excel file and let's paste it right over here, okay? And we can copy any Excel file within the folder. It does not matter which one we select, okay? The next thing I'll do is I will give each cell a name. So for my file name, which is in cell B3, I've went ahead and I've named it name, okay? And as you can see, I have just all small caps. And in cell B2, which is the file path or the file location, I've named it location with a capital L. And this capitalization is going to be important when we go into Power Query later on, okay? And so what I can do now is I can select any of these cells. So I'll select the file name and I'll go into data and into from table range. And this is going to open up the editor for Power Query, which is something that we've worked in Excel before in our channel. And I'm going to get rid of the change type and the promoted header step. And now I just have the source step. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to right click and drill down. So now I just get the name Sao Paulo, Brazil. I hope I'm pronouncing that correctly. Let me know in the comments below if I'm not. I'm going to right click the name now and I'm going to duplicate it. And once I've duplicated that, I'm going to go back to the source step and I'm going to go ahead and in the name, within the quotations, I'm going to change this to location. Now, remember in Excel, I named that file path cell location with a capital L. So I'm going to go ahead and write that down over here. And as you can see, when we go back to the navigation step, we get the location. So now we have the name, Sao Paulo, Brazil, and we have the location right over here, okay? Now I can go ahead and go to home and just close and load. And now let's say we go ahead and we change the names, okay? So I'm gonna go ahead and delete these spreadsheets because we don't need them. And let's go ahead and let's change the name from Sao Paulo, Brazil to let's do Mumbai, India, okay? So I'm going to go ahead and copy this file name over here now. And now if I go to data, refresh queries, and if I go back to my Power Query Editor, watch what happens. If I go back to the name, now it's showing Mumbai, India, because Excel recognized that I've changed the file name. The file location stays the same because all of those files are in the same folder. And while I'm at this, I'm going to go ahead and change this query to location as well. So now we have a query for name, a query for location. Now we want to be able to extract data based on our combination of the name and the location. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and right click new query, file, Excel workbook, and within the folder that I'm working on, which is the survey results folder, I'm going to go ahead and select my Mumbai, India Excel file, and I'm going to import it in over here. Now this file just has one table, so I'm going to go ahead and import that table on, and as you can see, we can see the entire table right over here. And by the way, all my tables have the same column headers. Now what I'll do is I'm going to go back to my source step here, and as you can see, I'm just going to hit this bottom arrow just so I can see the entire formula here. And in the file contents, it's hard-coded the location for Mumbai, India. But remember, in our Excel file, we want to be able to search or to write down any file within this folder and be able to see its corresponding table. So we can't have Mumbai, India hard-coded over here. So I'm going to delete everything that's within these brackets here so that we're left with nothing. And I'm going to go ahead and write down a dynamic code, which is going to be location and name. Okay, so the location, remember, had a capital L. That's why I've written down capital L location, and then the AND function, and then the name. Okay, this does not need to be in quotations. Make sure you get rid of those quotations as well. Okay, and I'm going to press enter after that. And once I do so, when I go back to the navigation step, it should show me the entire table. Now I'm going to go ahead and get rid of the change type step over here. Now, when we did this, when we made this dynamic code, if you got an error over here, in order to solve that error, what you need to do is you need to go into File, Options and Settings, Query Options, and then after that into Privacy, and always ignore privacy level settings. Now, if you're doing this for office use, you're working for an employer, it's a good idea to ask your employer or your IT department before doing this. However, in my experience, this is a safe option. Okay, we're going to press OK, go back to navigation step, and we can see the entire table right over here. So now I can go ahead and go into close and load to, and as a table, I want to close and load it into my existing worksheet, into cell A8 right over here, so that I can nicely see the table whenever I select an Excel file. Okay, I'm gonna press OK here, and there we have it. Now, for some reason, I just don't like to see the filter buttons in the table, so I'm just gonna go ahead and get rid of those. And there we are. So now I can go ahead and I can load up data from any table within the Excel files that are in my respective folder. Okay, so let's say, for example, now I want to see the Sydney, Australia data. Okay, and I'm going to go into this Sydney, Australia Excel file actually, and I'm going to play around with it. Okay, so in the very last cell, very last row here, in row 179, I'm going to write down just a sample 1, 2, 3, 4, 50. I'm going to write down test, and test, and I'll write down my name over here just for fun. Okay, and I'm going to go ahead and make sure this is saved, and I can go ahead now and go to my folder, and I can copy the Sydney, Australia file name. I'm going to go ahead and paste it over here. Okay, now I'm going to go to my data tab, refresh. Let's see what happens. So I did definitely see a change in this table. Let's go all the way down. Let's see if it actually picked up on my new row that I made. So here we are. In 186, it says our sample row that we made. It's right over here. That means it's working, and it's able to pull the data from my Excel files within my folder whenever I select them to. Now, to take this to a next level, let's say you wanted to have a list over here where you can select Excel files within your folder from a list using data validation. And whichever Excel file you select, you can preview the data right over here. We can do that, but that'll be a little bit more advanced. And let me know in the comments below if you want to see that. And we can actually make a video on that later on as well. But for now, that was it for today's video. And this was how you can load Excel files within a folder into your master Excel file. I hope you found this video helpful. Please do subscribe, share the video as well, and I'll see you shortly on the next video.